episode, Adam's in a tough situation.
I know that there is one person I would not want to be in the back of a limousine with, and it is Dexter Crane. That guy's bad news.
And Mark. I mean, why did he have to blow the whole deal with the Horde?
I mean, Wiley's peacemaker tactic was going so well, but nothing ruins a show of good faith quite as fast as a sniper rifle.
Welcome to another installment of Inside Between. I'm Angelina, also known as ALB.
And my name is Nicole Stamp, and we are your hosts. And joining us live in the studio tonight, we have three amazing guests. Samantha Monroe, who plays Stacy, Jack Murray, who plays Mark, and a new face, Loretta Yu, who plays Daisy.
Now, have you answered our Twitter poll this week? Our question is, will Adam be able to spread the truth and save Pretty Lake? Vote now on Twitter @Between Series.
Now, on tonight's show, we have some huge spoilers for Season 2, Episode 5 of Between, so if you haven't watched it yet, make sure to go catch up. It's online at citytv.com/between, or you can watch it on demand.
All right, Nicole, do you have your game face on?
This is it right here. I was born with this face.
Oh, I like it. All right, then let's kick this episode off with a little recap we like to call Between in 60 seconds.
We left off with Franny, shooting Renee to avenge Gord's death, but wait, hold up, Renee's not dead? What the? Chuck's cuts have vanished with no scars in sight, and Ronnie woke up fresh-faced after getting in a fistfight with a wall. What on earth is in that injection? Hey, Adam made it out of Pretty Lake. Time to get some answers, and a grande decaf non-fat no foam extra hot latte. Oh, Liam's still trapped in a trunk. Hope you're okay in there, buddy. Wiley to the rescue. Until Wiley finds out that Liam was a bad guy all along, and he was never gonna come back for them. Called it. Now it's up to Adam to save them. Everyone get a vial. Stat! Wait, where are the vials? Wait, where's Renee? Tracy, how did you lose Renee? Adam recruits bike-fixing humanitarian genius Daisy to hack into Horatio's system, much to the dismay of this creepy British villain. 37-character password? No big deal. Minister Miller wants to exterminate all of Pretty Lake, so the group needs to get to the extraction point ASAP. Looks like Renee got her mojo back because she's using the cure as blackmail to be a leader again. Wiley begs Renee for a few vials back, and all that snow looks a little chilly, but the cold never bothered them anyway. Mark, what are you doing there? You ruined the plan. The group extraction is in 2 hours, and Adam just got kidnapped. This plan might not work. Welcome to episode 205 of Inside Between. This is the penultimate episode of the series, so all the plot lines are really accelerating to their huge finale conclusion. And I am very excited to talk about the show with our guests that we have today. We've got three great guests. So first of all, we have Jack Murray, who plays Mark on the show. How's it going, Jack?
Pretty good. I had such a great time last time I had to come back.
Well, we're so happy to have you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence again. And we also have, actually, I think our most used guest on the show, Samantha Monroe, who plays Stacy. Samantha,
Hi.
this is your third time.
It is my third time, and your 60 seconds between the 60 seconds is still my favorite part. But
Thank you.
so funny, amazing.
I feel like the guests are my favorite part, if I'm going to be honest, but that's really nice of you to say. Thank you. And then beside me on the couch, we have a new face, Loretta Yu, who plays computer hacker genius Daisy. How are you, Loretta?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
I feel like you have really kind of thrown a whole new, twist into the show because now Adam's on the outside and we know that he's kind of a hacker genius, but you are like a hacker genius even beyond what he can
Yeah,
do.
I'm even better than he is. Better at my job.
How did you learn these great hacks? Like, how do
I
you-
don't know. I figure she does a lot of that's her thing, you know. Her go-to is like computer technology stuff. She's really good at it, and she's also, she likes to be a part of the underdog team.
Right.
Helping people out.
Did you have to learn a lot of like computer techniques that you didn't? What do you know now that you didn't know before?
I didn't know that you could have a 37-character password. I didn't know that that was a thing. I mean, it makes sense when you have very, very important information. You probably want to keep that secret, but that was something that I learned.
Sure. Have you changed your own passwords? Have you made them more secure?
I probably should now.
Yeah, I feel like
in
when
case anyone's going to attack me, anyone's going to come after me since I'm the hacker.
Right when I realized you were going to be on the show, I like hid my cell phone because I was like, just in case.
Well, it's probably a good idea.
Right? Probably for the best. So is there like a backstory between how you and Adam got to know each other?
Yeah, well, I kind of made a backstory up in my mind because that's just sort of the work that I do. But yeah, I get the idea that they knew each other from before he moved to Pretty Lake, and that we sort of did the darknet thing together, and found our commonality was our enjoyment in hacking into other people's private stuff.
Hacking into important government emails.
Yeah,
And then I feel like, you're very quick to help when he comes to you and says, we have this problem. But then as you learn more, can you talk us through, like, what is that for Daisy? What does she think is happening?
Yeah, well, I think she's somebody that, she's turned on by the idea of something that's a little bit dangerous. And so yeah, she definitely she wants to help, and she's a bit of a show off too. She's like, oh well, if you can't do it, watch this. Step aside, son. You know. But then once it actually does become dangerous for her, and she actually gets a gun pulled on her, then it gets a little too real too fast.
Right.
And yeah, and then we'll see what happens with Daisy, and if she mans up and decides to come back and help.
I'm excited to see. I have a feeling. I just feel like she's too cool of a character for a one-off. I feel like she's going to be back.
I think she's such a humanitarian that it's going to be hard for her to just, walk away and be like, oh no, it's not my problem anymore, because we know that she cares about PETA and carbon emissions and things like that, and she has such a good conscience on her. It's like, I think it's kind of strange for her to walk away, but she might have gotten freaked out at first.
Right, fair enough. Well, that's cool. That gives her sort of like somewhere to go in terms of, she says this is not my fight, but maybe it will turn out to be her fight after all.
Conflict.
Right? So speaking of not my fight, Jack, so Wiley has this whole plan where she's like, I'm going to be a peacemaker, and you agree to her plan, but then you head up to the hills with your rifle. What do you think Mark's thinking in that moment?
Well, I mean, the vials are basically life and death for not only Mark, but also for Stacy and, other people within Pretty Lake. So I think, Mark obviously cares about Stacy a ton and himself a little bit too. So he's trying to be a backup plan, but unfortunately his plan blew up in his face a little.
Yeah, sure did. Well, hopefully, things get back on track.
Yeah.
And for you, I feel like Stacy and Tracy have this beautiful scene where they talk about, the ethics of leaving the kids behind in Pretty Lake. What do you think Stacy's thinking in that moment?
Well, that scene was actually hard to film. Plus, Jordy's fantastic, and she seems to be able to just cry on cue. She just cries. It's amazing. And I feel like Stacy was thinking more so about herself than the kids in that situation, and I can understand that, I suppose. For me, that was a really hard scene to film, just because personally that wouldn't have been the choice that I would have made. To leave all the kids behind and save yourself. But what's going through Stacy's head, she's probably just really seeing the opportunity to leave and the opportunity to get out of this hellhole that they've been living in for 54 days or something like that,
Gosh,
and just leave. So,
Yeah.
it's a quick
What's
fix.
going to happen if they get out? What happens? I mean, so you have a whole different life on the outside. What do you think is going to happen for Stacy?
It's probably not much of a life, is it? Everybody in the town died. So I'm assuming the first thing you do is hot shower. Second thing would probably be McDonald's. And from there, I guess you'd have to either make yourself a new life after that. That would be pretty hard for all the kids that get out.
Yeah, and what about for you, for Mark? I mean, he's a convict. He was in jail before this happened. So
Yeah.
what happens if he gets out?
Yeah, I guess that's one of the things that makes Mark a little different is that he likes being a free man in Pretty Lake more than being a prisoner outside of Pretty Lake. So in terms of, if he were to get out, how he'd behave, I mean, he'd be a fugitive essentially, and, perhaps he goes rogue and starts making his own justice.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I mean, we know he likes
Throwing it out
guns.
there,
Yeah, just putting it out there, whatever. So here we go, fingers crossed for season 3. Now, we have such amazing fans of the show, and one of the great fans that we have is our weekly super fan, and this week her name is Maya. She came to join us all the way from Alberta, and Angelina and Maya are gonna have a little chat right about now. Take it away, Ange.
Thanks, Nicole, and thank you to everyone who entered our Quarantined in Toronto Superfan contest. We had so many amazing entries, and I'm joined by our superfan, Maya, all the way from Sherwood Park, Alberta. How excited are you to be here today?
Very excited.
And you brought us this amazing artwork that features myself and Nicole, and then we have Samantha here and Jack Murray. This is amazing art. Thank you so much for bringing it in. So you're a big fan, you must be, to draw
definitely.
something like this for the show. And you have questions for our cast, right? What was your first question?
All right, so my first question was, I was wondering how you prepared for your role.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, they all have like so many tough scenes to film. So what's your second question?
My second question is, why do you think the fans of Between love it so much?
Ooh, that's a good one too. I know I love it because of the large ensemble cast. Now, let's go over to Nicole for some answers from the cast.
Thanks, Angelina. Thank you, Maya. Maya, I love that art so much. Oh my gosh, I want a copy of it. I'm gonna put it up, possibly like I might wear it as a necklace. Not lying. I love it. Thank you so much. So those are great questions. So let me just throw it out to you. So first of all, how did you prepare for your role, Loretta?
Well, to be honest, from the audition to when I started shooting wasn't a whole lot of time. But before the audition, I prepped, the idea of computer hacker, being very, very smart. Obviously learning all of your lines. But as far as getting ready for the show, I watched the entire first season just to prep myself and know about the characters and sort of see how Daisy fits into that world. Just sort of like a puzzle piece with how she fits in.
Right, great. How about you?
Prep work for Stacy. Honestly, one of the things I found that really helped me with the character is I actually dropped my voice for the character, just because she is a little bit more hard around the edges. I was talking to my sister about this. I find she's one of the most damaged before the incident, before the virus was released, characters on the show, that and Mark, which is why I think they make such a great team. So it kind of took a lot of delving into her backstory, which we did get into in season 1. But I was a big fan of kind of like that whole sort of darker side of her. I wasn't necessarily dead set on the fans loving Stacy. She was kind of like a love to hate. Maybe she was, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What did you do? Sorry. Moving on.
What did you do?
Well, for the first season, I was sort of working from the place of like Mark is this caged animal when he's in prison, and then when he gets out, he's a bit of like the sort of wounded animal, kind of on the loose. And I think that continued, but something that allowed me to sort of get back into character after a layoff was just sitting in the chair. I had hair like this, and then all of a sudden they just buzz it down, and like just looking in the mirror and seeing like basically him instead of myself. It kind of like just put me right back into the pocket, so to speak.
Oh, that's cool. And you say you changed your voice and you changed your physical appearance. That's interesting how something that's a little bit more on the external side can help sort of inform the character.
I got a tip from a fabulous acting coach of mine, and he said sometimes even like a smell will kind of set you back into it. So something your character smells like for me, it really helped being in a bar. It smells like whiskey and smoke and leather jackets, and for me that was always really helpful for dropping back into character because this is her home.
That makes
which was
sense.
Helpful, for sure.
Sure, and for you, it's true. The shaved head looks so different on you.
Yeah,
than...
Yeah, no, I feel like a different person, for real. Even the months when we're shooting, I kind of like, I see people kind of looking at me, and I'm a bit more intimidating and frightening than I am when I walk around like this. So.
Huh, that's interesting. Those are good answers. Good question, Maya. So on to her second question. Why do you think fans of Between love it so much? And I have to say, we actually just found out that Between is trending on Twitter in Brazil right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brazil. That's amazing.
Amazing.
So why do you think that kind of response is part of this show's zeitgeist?
I think it's just like it's such a large cast, and there's so many different characters, and that in some way you find one character, at least one character that you really identify with, and it's young, it's sexy, it's shot really beautifully. I think these are all factors that really play into it.
How about you?
I'd say it's hitting a generation of viewers that hasn't really been touched on yet, which is kind of the 14 plus and a little bit higher. It's a bit more of a mature show. And I also find oh shoot, I had a great answer. Now I've blanked. Okay, come back to me. I'll get
Cool.
it.
What do you think, Jack?
You go.
The survivalist sort of aspect to it, I think is interesting. There's no higher stakes than survival.
Yeah.
So seeing young people in that situation, I think, is what makes it such an interesting premise.
Sure.
Because they might think differently than, say, more mature folks.
Yeah, it's so interesting because of their life experience, how they react to these situations. It will be different than how a 45-year-old man, we have different stakes, and then when the stakes are raised so high, it's really interesting to see how people survive in these very serious, intense situations. What would you do? And I think people like to live vicariously through, what these characters end up doing.
Yeah. Did you think about what you were gonna say?
I was just gonna say it moves so fast.
It does.
You don't have time to get bored. You're constantly watching what? Okay, awesome, and then it moves on. The plot moves so quickly. I think the reason people love it so much is because when you're in it, you're watching it, and you're just entranced with it for an hour, and it's a complete escape from reality. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons it's been so successful.
Totally. Yeah, nice one. But it's amazing to have like these young people who have sort of everything to live for, and then suddenly their whole context changes, and it's like you went from everything to live for to nothing to lose, right? Like it's life or death. So who cares if you have a relationship that's different than you might have had if you had more time to think about it? Who cares if you have to break out of prison and take that risk, right? Like you have to kind of make these extreme gestures because you have nothing to lose. That's really cool. Huh. All right. Well, you know what? We have some really cool stuff on our website. One of the neat things we have is this really cool map of Pretty Lake. If you've ever wanted to know what exactly the town of Pretty Lake looks like from a bird's eye view, well, Angelina's going to show you right about now.
Thanks, Nicole. Now, first off, I wanted to share with you this artwork that I created for this week's episode featuring Wiley holding the cure with Liam standing behind her. You can see all of my pieces from previous weeks on social media. Now, want to delve in even deeper into the world of Between? Well, have I got a treat for you. Head over to citytv.com/between and take a look at our brand new interactive map. Check out some of the different spots in Pretty Lake that have been featured in the series and learn a bit about each location. And don't forget to check back with us on social and tell us which spot is your favorite. Now, speaking of which, we've got some awesome fan comments that we'd like to highlight this week. At Seabass134 says, anyone who hasn't watched Between is missing out big time. Thanks, Seabass. We couldn't agree more. Our next comment comes to us from at Glitzy Butera on our Gord in Memoriam video. And they want to say, I want Gord back so bad that video makes me upset. I feel you. It's too real. And finally, so many of you commented telling us who you got in our Between Profiler quiz. If you haven't taken it yet, head on over to citytv.com/between to find out who you most align with from Pretty Lake. I got Gord when I took it, of course. Nicole, what did our cast get when they took it?
Oh, good question. Have you all taken the quiz?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jack, who were you?
I got Mark, you know, but I don't know, perhaps like, you know, maybe I was kind of, you know, going along the answer trail to sort of get that result. So.
Did you feel like you were answering as Jack or as Mark?
You know, it's a blur between the two, you know, it's just, you know, there is no difference between us. So.
Are you like Mark, do you think?
I am Mark.
Ooh. Ooh. Are you though? Because Mark does a bunch of things that I feel like.
No, but I guess we're different, but there's a lot to
You
him.
guys look the same.
Yeah.
You know? You look really similar.
Yeah, we do
It's
look
scary.
similar. Yeah.
I like that though. I like that there's this sort of holistic, like the character and the man are one.
Well, I feel like, you know, we behave the same, sort of. You know, I think Mark is trying to do the right thing most of the time. I think he's just, like, his experiences are just so messed up that he's, like, his perspective is, you know, kind of skewed, so he ends up in situations that I usually don't find myself in.
Thank goodness. Those are not fun situations.
No.
How about you? Have you taken it?
Adam.
You were Adam. Why do you
I
think
got
that
Adam.
is?
I think because all my answers kind of revolved around like, yeah, I'll take charge. I'll do it if I have to get out. Let's do this. Let's go. Somebody figure it out. Somebody has to figure it out. And that's kind of where I went on my trail. Yeah. Adam.
Yeah. Are you like that in real life? Do you feel like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I answered pretty truthfully. It took me a long time to answer it.
You do have a good natural sort of leadership personality. I've
That's
observed
really
that.
sweet.
Yeah.
I think I went more so down the panic route though. Like if something was seriously wrong, like yes, okay, I'll do it if nobody else is gonna do it. And there was that one question where he said that he was, what would you do? Oh shoot, do you remember the fifth question? It was the fifth one.
Remember that?
Yeah, a while ago. Okay, again, I think I'm gonna have to pass and remember. You guys can come back.
Okay.
I'll remember it. Give me a sec.
All right. How about you?
I got Stacy actually.
What?
Yeah, I got Stacy.
Why is
'cause
that?
I don't know. I guess I was answering these questions because it was like, you know, whether you're a leader or a follower, and I'm like, I'm kind of not one or the other. It's somebody that I feel like Stacy sort of like, she's on her track. She's doing everything that she needs to do to survive, but also like ready to jump at that opportunity to like, you know, to sort of get herself out as much as she can. And like there is a conscience there, but there is like, yeah, it's just conflict. It's definitely a conflict of back and forth between like doing the right thing and doing what you need to do to stay alive.
Right, yeah, because sometimes the thing that's the most beneficial for other people in this situation is not really what's going to help you yourself in the best. I took the quiz too. I was Adam.
You got Adam too?
I was Adam too. I'm just like
Okay.
you. And I think I chose a lot of the answers that were about, like, I would research and I would try to, like, expose the story. I would
That
definitely.
was the question. That was the fifth question.
I would want it to be known that the government is doing this conspiracy and they're trying to kill a bunch of teenagers. I would definitely try to leak that. I mean, I can't really imagine in real life being brave enough to put together like a video that exposes a government conspiracy. I feel like that really paints a target on your back. So that's a level of bravery that I don't know that I personally have, but I'd like to think that I would. Do you feel like you could do that?
Make the video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I
you
feel
would
like I
get.
could. I feel like I would make the video.
Oh, I like that.
Somebody has to do it.
Somebody has to.
And nobody else is, so here we go.
It's true. It's true. So, okay, well, I want to just take a second before we move on in the show, because a show like this happens because there are so many people who work on it. If you were in the studio tonight, you would see 30 people behind the scenes who are helping to make this happen. So I just wanted to take a little moment to say thank you to everybody who works on the show. We have our whole floor crew, we have our control room crew, we have an art department, we have editors, we have amazing producers, oh my goodness. Who else? There's the beauty department, there's the graphic designers, all of these people who, maybe I've forgotten some and I hope I haven't, but all of their talents come together to make this show come together out of nothing every week. It is remarkable to see, and we have such a strong leadership team who's steering the ship and giving the kind of feedback that really helps us to improve and move forward every week, and it is a delight. So I just wanted to let you all know, when you're watching the show and you see that credit roll at the end, every single one of those people has brought a tremendous level of talent and professionalism to this game, and it is such a pleasure. And so I just wanted to recognize them all, because I know sometimes, you know, those credits just kind of go by in a blur, but I just want you to know that, like, every single one of those people has brought their A game and has brought something special to this show. So thank you all. You're all wonderful. Yay! So now I want to take us back in time and check out what happened on the set of Between Season 2 with a little segment that we like to call On Set with Jim.
Like, does Franny have a darkness to her, especially now after Gord's gone?
I feel that she does have a little bit of darkness because she wants revenge, of course, so
Right.
and she gets it.
Yeah.
Franny comes and she discovers me. She's actually looking for me because she's blaming me for Gord's death. So I tell Franny I'm going to make things right, and I'm going to try to avenge Gord's death.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's like you almost say, now you're like put in this new role of almost like big brother again.
Well, hey, I have that note on my script.
I feel like I am really searching for a family because I really like being with people and I'm feeling like I'm needed.
The characters Tracy and Stacy have a kind of a dilemma of, do they stay or do they go with the kids? How would you deal with that situation?
Personally, I wouldn't have been able to leave. I love kids, so that's the thing. Stacy, not so much. Doesn't really love the kids. Just was like, no, we're gonna move on. No, honestly, she was just, it was a survival thing, and you can stay and die, or you can go and live. And if you go outside, you might have an opportunity to do something about it. But in here, you're slowly going to starve to death.
You decide to stay. And now, where does that stem from? Is it from the loss of Gord? Is it from the respect for him? Like, where does that?
I think it's a bit of both. I think Tracy maybe at one point felt abandoned and left. And she knows what that feels like. I think she sees it in the kids and doesn't want them to die because she left. If there's a chance they can live because she stays, maybe the only thing that's giving her that feeling of worth is staying with the kids.
You contact this character Daisy, right? I think that's really cool. And what's Daisy like? Like, what does she kind of bring to the show?
She's able to help Adam hack into the system and find out information about Horatio Pharmaceuticals and Minister Miller. And he couldn't do it on his own, so she was able to really help him.
My character is actually not from Pretty Lake. My character is from the outside world. It's a surprise. She hasn't heard from him in years, and so it's definitely a big surprise for him to be reaching out to her, but it's also exciting because it's like, oh, well, he's going to reach out to me. What does he want?
Adam meets Dexter Crane. He's like the top of the food chain. Are you in over your head? Should Adam run?
I don't think Adam should run. I think Adam should face Dexter Crane head on because I think it's sort of, again, I think Adam's the only person with a chance to face him because nobody else would even could even have a dialogue with him because they wouldn't know what his angle is.
Welcome all. We have a very exciting game for you today called Junk in the Trunk. Oh, look at his little face.
Aw.
In episode 5, we see Adam locking Liam in the trunk of his car. So now it's your job to get him out. The rules of this game are very simple. Each of you has a container just above your trunk full of ping pong balls, which represent Liam. So you aren't allowed to use your hands. You have to dance and jump and twist and move in order to get all of the ping pong balls out of your trunk to free Liam. So whoever frees him first wins. Now, excuse me if I'm a little cheeky, but I think this game will help us all get to the bottom of this Liam drama. Jack, are you cracking under the pressure?
I might have cracked already.
It's almost too late.
This is serious.
Serious. Okay, Loretta.
Serious game here.
I'm glad you're taking it so seriously. It's very serious. Loretta, I'm glad you're here. We haven't had you on sooner. Do you think that being a newcomer is going to be like an advantage against these two?
Yeah, I think beginner's luck for sure.
I think that might be to your advantage because we've seen in other episodes that being a newcomer has actually worked sometimes. So we'll see. Samantha, I don't want to make any assumptions, but I think you might have a good shot at winning this game. You have a good track record.
I do.
Do you agree?
I feel like this might be my chance though to come and school Jack finally.
There's a rivalry happening here. I can just tell. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yep.
You ready to do this?
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
On your mark, get set, go. We're off to a great start. Loretta has quite a few of them. Jack, you're not doing so well. Loretta, let's see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, you have like 3 left, I think. Jack has 2. Sam, how are you doing over there?
I have 1.
Oh yeah, there's definitely 1 in there. Make it happen, you guys. It's a close call. Oh, Loretta, let's see.
I don't hear anything.
There's no ping pongs in Loretta's
Yeah.
one. Okay, you guys, Loretta won, but let's see who can come in the runner-up.
Wait!
Let's see.
Is it gone?
There's no balls in your trunk. You did it. Is there a...
I think there's like some kind of tape in mine. You know, there's like.
Look at this.
Cheated.
I'm gonna put that back in.
Cheating.
He's sad. He misses you. All right. Well, we have some amazing prizes. Loretta, since
first place.
you're the winner, you get this amazing
Can.
Amazing. This should keep me alive for a while.
Yeah, I think so too. And Sam, since you were the runner-up, I really would like to give you this wonderful prize.
Thank you so much. I wonder what it is.
Any parting words, like speech?
Speech. I feel like this will. I won't be giving this to the children, as Stacy is not very fond of the children, I guess. So I'm gonna keep this for me. Yeah, this is mine.
That's beautiful. Congratulations.
Beautiful
Now,
moving.
let's head back in time to the set of Between for Jim's segment, Between Us.
Between us. These are tough questions with Jim Watson.
You got Ronnie, you got Chuck, you got Mark. Well, give me a 1, 2, 3. I want rankings. Yeah.
We really are going to start asking more about Jesse. It's going to get very personal later.
I have the Twitter and all that.
She twits.
I twit.
It was a very emotional scene. He gets shot and everything. He's on the ground. We're blocking. I'm ready for my emotion until Ryan decides to say, Simba, remember me.
I want a shot of you. I want a shot of you holding Jason up.
I start to laugh, ruining the moment, no emotion.
Because you are easily next to me, the second most loved character on the show. Easily. So we're going to move away from Gord because I'm done talking about him.
Great. Me too.
The scenes are always awkward. They're just, I mean, it looks like to the viewer that they're these wonderful intimate scenes, but really there's 17 people watching you and you're, not wearing any clothes. And so it's, if you could just do a little thrusting, that would be great.
So I think she has a lot invested in Liam and doesn't want him killed for a multitude of reasons. I'm really proud I just used the word multitude with a hand flourish for a multitude of reasons.
She's like, I should read the scripts and then I'll know the spoilers.
Shh, don't rat out on me, none. Okay, between us, between us. I literally just said between us.
That's my line.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, so Wow, was filming those scenes really awkward, those intimate scenes?
It's pretty awkward. And like, I gave the tame version of that to Jim.
You were struggling watching even.
I went, oh my gosh, it's so intense. But yeah, it's even worse than that. Like, it's just like,
There's so many people in the room.
I know, there's like 10 people in the room, and you're like half clothed, and they're like, if you could just grind your hips back and forth. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, your boob is showing. If you could just, Jack, can you just cover that up? It's awful. It's not.
True love,
not movie magic,
folks.
guys.
So while Stacey and Mark are getting it on, Adam has been out trying to get to the bottom of this conspiracy, which leads us to our Twitter poll for this week. Will Adam be able to spread the truth? And thank you for being my fan of spread the truth and save Pretty Lake. So 65% of you said, heck yes, he will save the day. 16% of you said he'll spread the truth about Pretty Lake, but he won't make it. He's gonna get offed. And 19% of you said, nope, he's in trouble. Woo. So people are pretty divided on whether or not he'll make it. Do you think that people are right to be skeptical of Adam's ability to save Pretty Lake?
I'm really glad that they're optimistic.
I mean, yeah, they seem optimistic.
Like, most people are optimistic, but that's only 65%. I think the people of Pretty Lake are not very optimistic.
Yeah.
Maybe the ones with the cure are.
He's got a good,
right?
I mean, he's got a good track record that he's just going to keep trying anyway, unless he does
he's going to keep going until everyone dies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great.
Oh.
It's got dark and sad.
Sorry.
Well, hopefully Pretty Lake will make it through with or without Adam's help. Don't miss next week's season finale of Between on City at 8 p.m. Eastern Pacific, or set your PVR to find out if they make it. And speaking of next week's finale, we have a very special sneak peek. I just wish that we had Jack here to tell us about it. Oh, hi, Jack.
Hey there.
Oh.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are
just
you?
Sitting here hanging out. What are you guys up to?
You forgot that.
Oh.
Why don't you introduce the clip for us?
Yes, well, okay, this clip, I don't quite remember. Oh, yes, what is it? Oh, so Ronnie and Mark go toe to toe. And remember, Mark's injured. So, I mean, you know, it might look like Ronnie's winning, but, you know, Mark's at a disadvantage, just saying that. And also, this might be the end of Mark. So,
Are you allowed to say that?
just tune in.
Let's take a look at the clip.
Back off! I'm just getting started. Come on! Stop it! I got Eric's killer in here! Come on! I should kill you right now!
What's going on?
You wanted me to find Eric's killer? Here he is. I swear it was an accident. Let me explain. Shut up!
No. Let him talk.
He came at me with a knife. I was just trying not to get slashed. He fell into the knife. That's what killed him.
I saw his body. His stomach was torn open. That doesn't happen from falling.
I swear that's the truth.
Now you're gonna pay. Hand him over.
Okay, let me do it for you. Please. Let me do it to make things right, please. Don't do it!
Do you think that he'll feel relief when the truth comes out next week?
When the truth comes out,
Yeah, 'cause he's been found out.
I think so.
Good.
That's what you wanted all along,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like, you've been trying to get out of the closet, trying to get out of the bar to tell everybody, and now
closet.
it's finally out. The closet.
You did put him
I
in
put you
there.
in the closet.
Yeah.
I'm not even sorry. Sorry.
Well, you know, I got out of the closet.
He's just flabbergasted because he has his special little ping pong ball there.
Yeah.
The lone ball.
The lone ball.
I think it's a really nice boutonniere.
Yeah, I think it looks nice on you.
Yeah, I might keep it.
And you guys have your special prizes here too. Show offs, right? These guys. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us on tonight's episode of Inside Between. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Thanks for having me. Hope you guys watch. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
It was a pleasure
I don't know what
having
happens
you.
yet. So,
Oh,
yeah,
it'll be exciting for you to
Yeah,
watch
yeah, yeah.
too. What about you, Sam?
Next week's pretty intense, so make sure you tune in. And I honestly read every single tweet you guys send at me, so keep them coming.
Oh, nice. And Jack?
Yeah, you know, I keep tweeting at me. You know, I read them, and I'm quite liberal with my likes and my retweets.
Wow. If you
Just
tweet
saying,
at Jack,
you
you
know,
might get
you
a
might
like.
get a retweet and a like if it's
Very,
really good.
very generous of you. Wonderful. So thanks again. Okay, so don't forget our season finale of Between is next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Pacific on City. Don't forget to set your PVRs. And of course, that's followed by our season finale of Inside Between at 9 p.m. right here. In the meantime, you can still watch all of our episodes, our webisodes, featurettes, and more on citytv.com/between right now. So join us next week for more Inside Between. Bye!
Bye, guys.